Hey guys, it's me, Kiana, and welcome to my October wrap-up. So, in the month of October, I read 6 books, and I'm going to do things a little bit differently this month. I'm going to talk about first the books I read that I physically own here on my bookshelves, and then talk about the ones I rented from the library. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So the first book that I read in the month of October to continue my reread is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets by J.K. Rowling. This is the second book in the Harry Potter series. I am doing my first ever reread of Harry Potter because I read this like 2 years ago and honestly do not remember whatsoever what happened. So I decided every month I would read at least one book, and if I can squeeze in 2, then 2 books. But this follows Harry in his second year when his best friend's little sister comes to school and he finds out she has a gigantic crush on him. He gets a very vain teacher, and then the Chamber of Secrets is open and they have to figure out by who. I really like this book. This was honestly my least favorite when I first read this, but now with my reread I actually like this a lot more. I rated this one a 4 out of 5 stars. The next book I read, which I am so surprised that I read because of how big it is I finally read A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas. As you can tell, I love this book. It took me a week to read this, and if you don't know what this is about, the first book is basically a Beauty and the Beast retelling. The second book is a Hades and Persephone retelling, and I still don't know what the third one is. But this follows a girl named Farah when her family is really poor, and she goes and she hunts a wolf without realizing that the wolf is actually a fae, and to pay the price, she gets taken by Tamlin in the first book to serve out a sentence for killing one of his people. Now this is the third book. A lot has happened, and this is finally the ending, and I kid you not, it made me cry so much towards the end. I love this so much. I rated this a 5 out of 5 stars. I will link my Goodreads review down below, but I absolutely love this, and I cannot wait for the little novellas to come out. Then the next book, the third book that I read, that is a new release this month, is Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard, Book 3, The Ship of the Dead by Rick Riordan. I love this book so much. Oh my god. Okay. The first book, which is Magnus Chase, The Sword of Summer, is Magnus' mother died about 2 years ago, and he has been living on the streets ever since then with his 2 friends, Hearthstone and Blitz. He finds out from his uncle, his mother's brother, that he is a son of a Norse god, Fae. And things take off from there. That his basic goal is to try to stop Loki from getting out of his restraints and starting the end of the world, which basically happens in this third book, and I loved it. I love the characters in this. I will also link my review for this book on Goodreads down below, but I really love this book, and I'm so sad I had to say goodbye to these people. I read, which is also a reread for me because I actually forgot what happened in this series, is The Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. This is the UK version, but I also have the UK version. I also have the US version paper hardback. But this follows an 18-year-old assassin called Selena Salvadorian, and she is basically the country's biggest and baddest assassin. And when she was 17 years old, she was forced into basically a prison camp for being caught. And then a year later, she's taken by the prince to compete in his father's champion with other assassins and stuff like that, to become his assassin and kill all the people that he's trying to take down. I did not like this one as much as I liked it when I first read it about a year and a half ago. But when I originally rated this, I rated this a 5. I downed it to 4, maybe 3.5. And I'm surprised about that. But I'm honestly gonna keep my thoughts to myself and might do a book talk about this. But yeah, I didn't like it as much as I read it the first time. So then the next 2 books that I read, one was a graphic novel, and if I can, I will link a picture here, but if not, all the books will be linked down below with my thoughts about it on Goodreads, is Rat Queen's Volume 1, Sass and Sorcery. I rated it a 3 out of 5 stars. I did not like it that much. I think the reason I didn't like it that much was, 1, it's written by guys, and 2, they portray the girls as 1 a drunk, 1 a sex fiend, and the other 2 just idiots, and I did not like it very much. And I don't know if I want to continue with the others, but I might. I don't know yet. I haven't decided. And then the sixth and final book that I read in the month of October, which is actually the second book I read, is Forever by Maggie Stiefvater. If I can, like I said before, I will have a picture here, but if not, it will be linked down below. I love this series so much. I read it for the past 2 months back to back, and I actually want to read the little Cole novella, but what it basically about is it's the third and final book to the trilogy, and it's basically in a town in Minnesota. Wolves live there and they're part of their community, and one girl named Grace, when she was about 11 years old, was bitten by a wolf but was never turned, and she slowly falls in love with a boy named Sam and tries really hard to turn him back to human, but she ends up turning into a wolf, and it is amazing. I honestly recommend this so much for you all to read, but I loved it. So these are the physical books that I read in the month of October. Comment down below which books you have read, and I will see you next time in a new video.